Is it on? Okay, yes it is. Hello. This is my field assignment for Sociology 102. I'm going to be discussing my observations taken from a few different locations. My study was on the difference people exhibit when people are wearing uniforms versus when they're not. Like if you work in customer service or retail, I think there's a big difference, or at least I've observed a big difference between how people are treated. I've also worked in retail for like a couple of years. So I didn't do this at the place that I worked. I didn't, my managers wouldn't have liked that very much. But the observations took place in a few different locations, but all of them included different types of service or retail industry employees. All the employees wear uniforms. All the names and locations were agreed to be left out because no one wanted, to be in trouble, and I didn't think that they'd want me to film them because, again, I'm kind of uploading this to YouTube so that I can upload it to my school assignment thing. So yeah, also I couldn't get any managers to answer questions, and they kind of asked me to not. So I did bribe one of the guys, the guy who worked in the fast food chain, to answer my questions on his break with like $5 because no one else wanted to answer my questions inside because the manager didn't like it. But okay, so the locations were a fast food place. I'll basically say it was a McDonald's because it was, and there's plenty of them, so yeah. One was a store in a mall, the one down that. It's at the mall. One was a casino. I was visiting with my grandma for Mother's Day, so that was kind of recent. And the last one was a local grocery store I go to a lot. Two of the people I interviewed were customers, and I thought it was important to have their point of view on things. So the questions I asked are, how do you feel about how you're treated when you wear your uniform versus when you don't? How do you feel this behavior came about? Like, why do they treat you differently in uniform versus when you don't? And why do you think should be done about it? And then there's the customer opinions. But we'll go over the workers first. So how do you feel you are treated when you wear the uniform versus when you don't? The fast food place guy said that he hates it and he doesn't treat people like crap when they're wearing the uniform or when they're not. Also, you can kind of tell how people have been raised by how they treat people in uniform. Like, do they say please or thank you, or are they just kind of rude? I don't know if I can cuss in this. Like, are they assholes, basically? Fast food guy cussed a lot. The casino worker was kind of hard to get a hold of. It was basically a janitor that I kind of, went up to and spoke to for a couple minutes. And he said he basically counts the hours before he can take it off because people are pretty rude to him. Most of the time, they don't seem to notice he's there. Like, they look through him if he's walking around. But sometimes they'll just be really rude and they'll throw trash down in front of him and make a mess. And it's like, oh, well, he's getting paid for it, that sort of thing. And he didn't like that they were rude about things like that. It's just kind of not a thing he was happy about. The local grocery store worker thinks that the uniform was basically there to help the customers find them. This is a grocery store that has a lot of old people, but it also makes them act kind of like they're better than the grocery store worker. We'll just say she's a bagger. Okay. Like, she, puts all the groceries in the bag, cleans the store, that sort of thing. The second question was, how do you feel this behavior came about? Like, why do people treat you differently? The fast food place just said it's easier to give them what they want sometimes. Oh, wait, that's the wrong question. How do you feel you are treated when you wear your uniform? Oh, I'm on the wrong ones. Okay, yeah. How do you think this behavior came about? The local grocery store lady and, like, basically all of the other people said that it was that whole "the customer's always right" motto, which is kind of like the biggest lie in the industry because um, people come in, they want to scam you, they want to like get free deals, they want you to take coupons that are out of date or whatever, and like the fast food worker said it's easier to just give them what they want. So the managers will generally come over and say, yes, it's our fault. Here's a free comp, or here's whatever it is you were looking for. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't do this right now, but we love you. Come back and buy more stuff. Um, that was pretty much their answer to that question from everyone. So the third question, what do you think should be done about it? The fast food place worker said nothing to really do. The manager's there was kind of a jerk, and he just liked yelling at people. So I think it does depend on management, because the local grocery store worker said that the manager they have a couple of them, usually stick up for the workers because they know them and they work with them all day and all that. So they'll kind of pretend to yell at them, but then they're actually like, you're not in actual trouble. They're just being a jerk. Like, they'll commiserate. And the casino, there really wasn't anything that can be done because the casino wants money, and the janitor really needed to get paid, so he just had to smile and put up with it and nod and say, yes, ma'am, no, sir, yeah, da 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 da. I got 2 customers' opinions. I don't know if it counts because I didn't tell one of the ladies why I was, talking to her. She was an older lady who'd been yelling at a cashier while I was grocery shopping. She was very rude. Just like, she held up the line for a long time. She wanted these coupons to be taken. They were like not good coupons or whatever. So I did ask her these questions, just kind of slip them in there with a conversation. I asked her how she felt about the whole transaction because she wanted someone to rant at, and I guess, I was like a friendly face. She just thought the cashier was trying to make things difficult for her, and she wanted the cashier to get in trouble. Like, that's was my second question. Like, what do you think should be done about it? And she wanted the cashier to basically get fired. She was a very strange lady. I've never understood that sort of behavior. But the second customer, which was much nicer, and he turned out to be a car salesman. So I guess I'm not sure if that counts as retail. He's selling stuff. But he said it was just people feeling entitled because they thought service meant subservience, and that usually correlates with being lesser. So people are kind of jerks because they're like, oh, this person is serving me, so they're not as good as me right now, and they're not really feelings and all that. So basically, my conclusion to my study was that people, when they see you in uniforms, it depends on what the message is that comes along with that uniform. Like, there's a difference between people who serve our country in the military, who are seen as being very honorable, very cool, all that sort of thing. The difference between when you see someone with an authority figure, basically, like police officers or doctors or military, because that's all, what's it called? Authority figures, basically. They have higher ranks than regular civilians. But people who work in retail or the service industry are lower than, or they're perceived, they're not lower, they're perceived as being lower ranked in like a hierarchy than the actual civilians or the customers, which I think is kind of stupid. We should definitely do away with the whole customers' right nonsense, because people really shouldn't be treated like crap just because, they're doing the 9 to 5. But that's basically what I got put together. I know this is longer than 5 minutes. Thank you. That's it.